If you meet a woman in her 30s who's single, who lives on her own and pays all her own bills, just understand that she's single by choice. She knows her worth and she has high standards, so this is going to come with a very, very specific set of rules when it comes to dating her. Rule number 1, learn to lead. Women like leaders, someone who takes control, especially in a man. What does leading mean? Leading means making a decision. So you just say, I'm picking you up at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Wow, my panties are wet just thinking about it. Speaking of wet panties, that leads me to rule number 2. Do not show up to the date with the expectation that she's going to sleep with you, or even kiss you for that matter. A woman in her 30s who's single by choice craves intimacy, and intimacy is much more than sex.
This has got to be the most delusional rant I've ever heard from a female over the age of 30. And sadly, I even think that this chick is a dating coach. So she is selling this snake oil to other women who are her age. And sadly, these women will buy it because it makes them feel good. It's all about what makes me feel good. It's not about the truth. I don't want to hear that. It's ugly. I want to hear what makes me feel good. I don't care if you lie to me. Right? And a lot of these DGs over 30 love to be lied to, right? Just don't tell them you're lying to them. They just love to be lied to because they just want to hear what they want to hear. However, I want to jump into each of her points that she made in her rant here. I mean, I even have her video loaded up so I don't miss anything because everything she said is literally the epitome of someone who is a narcissist, B, lacks self-awareness, accountability, just a grandiose sense of self-importance, entitlement, you name it. So let's jump into what she said. So the first thing she said, I mean, verbatim, she said, if you meet a woman in her 30s who's single, who lives on her own and pays all of her own bills, just understand she's single by choice. Let me tell you right now, that chick is not single by choice. Okay? She's single because she has no other choice than to be single. The time that she had choice was 10 years earlier when she was in her 20s. That is when she had choice. But when she made the fatal decision to not get married, to not spend her 20s finding a high value man, but instead taking these trips with her girlfriends, going to the clubs with her girlfriends, ignoring all the nice guys in her friend zone, and deciding to ride the carousel. When she made that decision, that fatal decision, that is really was the beginning of the end. And so once she hit her 30s, the opportunity to get a high value guy that she could have got in her 20s is now gone. That's off the table. You don't have that anymore. Okay, it's off the table. Doesn't mean you can't still get a guy. You can. You'll just get a lower quality guy. You'll just get a lower caliber guy, a lower valued guy. As much as they want to tell themselves, no, I could get that high value guy. Who are you going to tell me this? Well, A, professional pickup artist, so I've seen this happen over and over. And B, if you don't believe me, just go to any venue where you're gonna, where there are both men and women, and look to your left and look to your right. And who are all the men gonna be paying attention to? It's gonna be the youngest women in that venue. The 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds. They're not gonna be paying attention to the 33-year-old. As much as you want to tell yourself that they will, because you're special. You're special snowflake. They're intimidated by my career. You want to tell yourself that. Reality speaks for itself. See who they pay attention to. See whose numbers they want to get. See which of those women they buy drinks for, which I'm totally against. Never buy a drink for a chick that you just met. No. But either way, who are these guys giving all of their attention and focus to? It's to the younger women in that venue, isn't it? So if you want to hear the truth, if you want to see the truth play out in real life, that is what you need to do. Don't take my word for it. Go to any venue, any club, any restaurant, any bar, you name it, and you will see who the guys are looking at. And if there's nobody else there, nobody else to talk to that's younger and hotter, sure, maybe they'll talk to you, right? Because you're the last option, or they feel like dumpster diving. Hate to say it. Right? But for this chick to actually say, if you meet a woman in the 30s who's single, who lives on her own and pays all her own bills, just to understand she's single by choice. No, she's single because she made a bad decision to stay single in her 20s and she didn't settle down. And the high value guy is no longer offering her the ring, the Cinderella fantasy, the provision, the support. He's no longer offering that. That's gone. Yeah, like I said, you can get that from another guy, but he will be, I'm not even going to say probably, he will be a lower value guy who does not have the value of the other dude that you could have gotten earlier. So in the longer you wait, the longer you stay out there, the more men that you let between your legs, the lower your value goes, and the lower caliber of dude you'll be able to get. That is just basic economics, girl. Right? And a lot of these chicks, they'll watch something like this, me saying this, and they will literally lose their minds. Why? Because they've never had anyone tell them the truth. They've never had anyone be honest with them. Instead, they've enjoyed a lifetime of basically men, especially men, but also women too, who have just sold them complete snake oil. Right? They sold them on this lie. They've sold them on this bill of goods that doesn't matter how old you get, he'll always be there. Matter of fact, the more degrees you have, the better paying job you have. That really attracts men. Really attracts men. The more money you make. Like, no, that absolutely repulses us. Right? I've said a number of times that if it's between the 35-year-old career woman making, $500K a year versus the hot 21-year-old Taco Bell girl, I'm taking Taco Bell girl, man. You know why? Because A, I have my own money, but B, I know that she's too young to have been indoctrinated by all this nonsense yet. I mean, even with all the wokeness going on, she's too young for that yet. She hasn't developed a mouth, at least not to the level of most women. She hasn't developed that mouth. She hasn't developed that disrespect. She hasn't developed that, lack of nurturing. She hasn't developed all those negative qualities yet. And she's young. She's fertile. She just has way more to offer than the 35-year-old with a corporate career that I know is just going to berate me daily. She's just going to be constantly, looking to replace me because that's why she's still single at 35, right? She's going to be constantly telling me what to do, questioning my decisions, basically questioning my lead. I don't like that. I don't want to deal with that, right? I don't want to deal with that. I don't even like my dude friends constantly doing that to me, just like they don't want me constantly doing that to them. Or otherwise, we're just not going to get along. This is why I say, alpha males can't hang out with other alpha males, because you're constantly just trying to grab the decision-making, the ability to make decisions from each other, right? You're like, oh, let's go here. Let's go to, let's go eat at Burger King today. I'll be like, no, let's go to McDonald's, dude. I'm tired of Burger King. And there's always a struggle where the better relationship is to befriend somebody who's a little more beta, right? Because if you have somebody who's a little more beta, he will follow your lead, and it doesn't mean he won't chime in from time to time, but for the most part, he'll just follow your lead. Like, dude, let's go to McDonald's today. Oh yeah, okay, cool, that's fine, right? And I've had a lot of wings like that. That's fine, but I've had other wings where it's just a constant struggle. Nah, dude, I don't want to go there. Let's go here. Like, well, nah, dude, I want McDonald's, right? So, in any case, imagine that other alpha you're dealing with is your woman. And these chicks tend to try to be more alpha than the dude. It's like they constantly have something to prove. They're so insecure with themselves. They constantly have something to prove. So that's what you're going to be dealing with. And that's something that I rather not deal with. But let me go ahead and see what else that she ranted about here. Oh, another thing she said was like, A woman who's single, lives on her own, and pays her own bills. I mean, why is the bar so low for a woman to be successful? Right? You live on your own and you pay your own bills. That's essentially what every adult throughout human history has done, is live on their own and pay their own bills. I mean, what are you saying, that you're strong for that? What I I mean, what message are you trying to communicate to people who might want to date you? It's like, because once I hear that, I'm like, is your barrier for success, I mean, that insanely low, where that's actually an accomplishment? That's not an accomplishment. Okay, and this is why I'm not even surprised when, a lot of these women go into, like, they associate with the woke mob, where they're just proud of their skin color, proud of my ethnicity, and they act as if that was an accomplishment. You didn't work for that. That was just given to you. Why? Or your sexual preference. Why are you proud of that? You didn't have to work for that. That's just something that was given to you. That's insane. But either way, so she made that point, and then she made another point. I'm scrolling through her video. She said, woman over 30 who's still single, she knows her worth, she has high standards, so this is going to come with a very specific set of rules when it comes to dating her. Are you freaking kidding me? So not only is this chick DG over 30 with quickly shrinking options in men, and has proven that men don't want her, I mean, this chick has the galls to demand more, to go, hey, you need to follow a very specific set of rules in dating me. Does this sound fun to you guys? Does this sound somebody like somebody who would be pleasurable to date, who lists out this set of rules so that you could be essentially walking on eggshells your entire relationship? Why do you guys still put up with this malarkey from these chicks over 30 when you don't have to? Oh, I know. You got to get into mastery. Click the link below. Quick plug. However, this is, I would laugh in this chick's face. I'm like, are you kidding me? You know who she reminds me of? She kind of reminds me of Kaepernick, right? No matter what side of the political fence you're on. I remember, like, Kaepernick, no matter, I mean, I'm not getting into his politics or anything, or his ethics. I don't want to get in that, but I'm just going to say that this guy has blown every chance to get back in the NFL that he possibly can. And now he's trying to get back in again, and they're just like, no. I mean, Kaepernick, he started with the kneeling, again, right or wrong, whatever. And he himself decided that, or he got cut, right? I mean, because really, look at his statistics. I mean, I've played football and I've, followed football all my life, and his statistics were pretty dismal. It was not deserving. I mean, I would have cut him long ago with those statistics. And plus, he was very predictable where he was going to throw the ball. And this guy just was not, he was just not worthy of not being cut. So they cut him. Then he didn't play for a while. And then he wanted to get back in. And this is a guy who hasn't been around for 4 years. At that time, he wanted to get back in. Meanwhile, you've got all these fresh new quarterbacks coming in from the draft, graduating from college, fresh from these Division I schools. New talent, younger, stronger, faster. Haven't caused any disruption with the organization yet. All these new recruits coming in that they could choose from, yet he was like, I want another chance. And you know what they did? They're like, okay, we don't want a media crap storm. Let's just give him another shot, see if he could still do this. So they go out of their way, bend over backwards to give this guy, who was a mediocre quarterback at best, hasn't played in 4 years. They bend over backwards to give him a tryout so other teams can watch him. They're like, all right, dude, you know what? We had to pull a lot of strings to make this happen. We'll give you one more shot. We're going to rent out the Superdome. I think it was in Atlanta somewhere, the Astro, whatever they call it place. I forget what they call the dome, the Falcons Dome. And, all right, come to the tryout. Let's see if you still got it. We're going to do this for you. What does he do? He doesn't show up. Instead, you know what he does? He goes to some other high school, like some field that's an hour away, some high school field, and just completely basically gives a finger to everyone who wanted to give him a shot. Goes to this high school field and starts throwing the ball, and then has one of his buddies get on the cell phone and tell all the owners who are at the Falcon Dome, oh, I'm not going there. Come to this high school field that's an hour away. It was far away. I don't know exactly how much, but it was about 45 minutes to an hour away. Come here instead. So what did they do? They didn't show up. I think maybe one coach might have showed up, just because he has a big heart. I wouldn't have. However, he was like, show up here, and then of course he gets on the news after because none of them really wanted to show up. And he goes, look, the NFL's sabotaging me again. They're sabotaging me again. They don't want to come here. They wanted me to go to their spot. This is proof they don't want me to play. This is proof there's racism. He started doing all that and just totally playing the victim. I mean, he even got called out by woke-ass Stephen A. Smith on ESPN. He got called out by that dude, which took a lot because he was like, Kaepernick, you don't want to play. You just want to play the martyr. You just want to play the victim. You don't want a chance. You know, everyone bent over backwards to make this happen. And look what you did. And was the guy sorry? No. Instead, he got on the news cameras and he said, why y'all running? Stop running. Give me a shot. Quit running away. Why are you running away? That level of narcissism is exactly what I see from these females over 30. Just no self-awareness, completely absent of any self-awareness, absent of any accountability, absent of anything they're, completely faultless and blameless of anything that they are doing wrong. Right? And, nothing against Kaepernick. I mean, I've actually, met the guy. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why, but yeah, I've actually met the guy. Nothing against him. He seems like a decent dude, aside from the cameras and everything, and maybe his political beliefs, but that was just hilarious to me. I'm like, really? So when I see these chicks talking about stuff like this, where she's saying the woman over 30, it's like, you're the one who's fortunate, mister. You're the one who's fortunate. Okay, you're the one who's lucking out here. Not her, but you. You're lucking out. That you're getting this girl who's slept with, dozens of men, who's been riding the carousel, who's had all these bad boys yap up inside of her, just jack on her face, and all this other stuff, that can't shut her mouth, that thinks she's, thinks she's intimidating men, that thinks she's just the cat's meow. You gotta let her know why you deserve her. Even though you are a doctor, a surgeon, or you have this successful business, you got six-pack abs, you got all the qualities that all these younger, 22-year-olds that are half her age want. Even though you're going to have to ignore those girls and just focus on her, you got to sell yourself. All right, what are you going to follow my dating rules? I mean, the insanity, right? The insanity of that statement at her. It's like, girls, you got to wake up. You don't have the leverage that you did in your 20s. That time is over. It's over. Right? You don't have that leverage. And again, if you don't believe me, go to any venue you want where there's young, hot women that are 10 years younger than you, and you see if these guys will ignore them and stop looking at them and stop trying to get their phone numbers and, stop trying to take them home to go talk to you. Okay, any of those high-value guys. You might get some low-value guys talking to you because they can't compete with the high-value guys, but you're not going to get the high-value guys. Be real with yourself. And this is what happens when society lies to a whole generation of females and just tells them whatever they want to hear because they themselves are trying to get in their pants. This is what happens when your whole life you're told how great you are and you've never heard any type of criticism whatsoever. This is the level of insanity that you reach. Unbelievable. Okay. She made a couple other points here. I'm going to see if I can. Okay, so she's saying rule number 1, learn to lead. You don't get the leader over 30, honey. Women like leaders, someone who takes control, especially in a man. Yeah, she's saying that, but yet she's talking about how you have to follow her specific set of rules. That's not what leaders do. Leaders make the rules, they don't follow them. No surprise that she's still single, though, right? I mean, really, is there any surprise with her, snottiness and uh, her amount of self-importance? So now she's, I'm just looking at her what she's saying about how to take her out on a proper date. You got to tell the girl you're picking her up at 8 on Tuesday. Yeah, I mean, I do those things. That's just normal stuff. There are so many contradictions in her, of course, right? She's saying, do not show up to the date. Here's an important one, guys. She's saying, do not show up to the date with me with the expectation that I'm going to sleep with you or even kiss you for that matter. So not only do you have to jump through all these hoops and barrels and walk on eggshells to try to even get her out on the date, try not to say anything wrong, try not to offend her, try not to do anything that upsets her. Not only all that you have to do to get this 35-year-old damaged female, you also, when you take her out and buy her $50 to $100, $200 dinner, waste your gas and waste all your time and, distract yourself from your business and, being a surgeon. After all that, you have to understand that she's probably not going to kiss you, much less have sex with you, right? Don't expect that. Don't expect a thing. Don't expect a thing, mister. You just do all this stuff for me without expecting a single thing in return. You know what we call that? We call that a bum deal. Okay, we call that a bum deal because, not saying because she's not having sex with you, but because of what she's giving you in return for everything you're doing. Right? For everything you're doing and everything you bring to the table, what is she bringing to the table? And I never hear these quote-unquote modern females ever talk about what they bring to the table. What is she bringing to the table? Nothing. Oh, just me. Of course, just me. There's just nothing of value there. So this is why it's impossible to have an actual conversation with somebody who has that level of entitlement, right? That level of self-importance, conceit, vanity. I mean, she has not said a single thing, as many of these women who upload the same rants do. I'm not just faulting her. They never, ever bring up what they bring to the table. She did not mention that once, what she brings to the table. But she had a whole laundry list of requirements that you have to follow, but she doesn't have to follow any. Why? I'm female. I don't have to do that. Biden said I don't. Biden said women are empowered, right? I don't have to do that. And you wonder why you're still single and over 30. So that is how that happens. And then lastly, she talks about how a woman in her 30s who's single by choice craves intimacy. Okay? So, woman in her 30s who's single by choice, guys, she craves intimacy. And intimacy is much more important than sex. Well, I mean, I could just do like hours of videos on what she just said, but I mean, there's a lot of hypocrisy there because these chicks definitely do not care about intimacy when the Chad or Tyrone comes over. But when it comes to the beta provisioner, which they're all looking for in their 30s, you better bring that intimacy, mister. You are not getting between these legs unless you bring that intimacy. Okay, don't try to touch me. Don't try to get that kiss. All right, but jump through all my hoops and barrels, show up to the date on time, make the reservations, whip out your credit card and pay for everything. But you're not really going to get anything in return. I decide if I want to give you a kiss. So here she is saying a woman in the 30s by choice craves intimacy. No, these chicks all crave sex, right? I mean, these chicks admit themselves that they're at the height of their, basically their horniness in their mid 30s. No, it's like you crave intimacy in your 30s. How come you weren't craving that in your 20s, girl? What happened in your 20s? So you're admitting you were just banging random dudes and riding the carousel. You're admitting that. But now that you're in your 30s and those guys have used you up and thrown you away, left you out for dead. Now you want the intimacy. Now you want a real relationship. Right? I've had my fun. You ever hear a girl say that? I did a whole video on that here on my channel. I've had my fun and I'm ready to settle. Yeah. Screw yourself. As always, guys, drop your comments below. I know you're going to have a load to say about this chick. Let me know if you would even deal with a single requirement that she has in order for you to have the privilege to date her. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of her little rant here. Let me know if you've dated chicks who are similar to her and you finally found my channel and learned that you don't have to put up with that. Drop your comments below. Share with the tribe. I always love to see you guys in my comments. I always love to read your comments, so please feel free to drop those comments below. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button right now. Do it now. More importantly, guys, make sure that you hit that notification bell as well so that you're notified whenever I upload a brand new coaching video to my YouTube channel, but also whenever I go live. A lot of you guys have been like, hey, Em, I don't know when you go live. And then I found out the next day you were live and I missed the whole thing. This is why you gotta make sure you hit that notification bell as well for the 33 Secrets so you are notified whenever I do a live stream. And I tend to do these live streams just on the fly whenever I feel like it. Okay, those tend to be the best ones. And on those live streams, you can ask me questions. And I answer a lot of guys' questions for free. So you want to make sure you hit that notification bell as well. That way you're notified whenever I do a live stream and whenever I upload a brand new coaching video here to my channel. Okay, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And for all of you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, platinum pill content that I'm teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students all around the world are constantly and consistently cold approaching and cold closing every single day, every single week, and every single month all over the world. I kid you not. That is how powerful this skill is. Learning pickup, learning game. This is a skill that you can use not only to bring 8s, 9s, and 10s, beautiful women, very attractive women into your life, but it's a skill that you can use in every other aspect of your life. Whether you want to get into better shape, you can game yourself. Whether you want to get a better job, a better career, you could use these skills as well. I was able to get 6-figure corporate jobs with Fortune 100 companies. I beat out hundreds of candidates to get these jobs, all thanks to my pickup and game skills. I was able to build a very successful business using my pickup and game skills, doing what I love. And now here I am acquiring other businesses, negotiating with other entrepreneurs for their businesses and their e-commerce sites and websites, cash flowing sites, using my pickup and game skills. It's like a billion-dollar skill at this point. It's that powerful. Okay, so you can not only use it to gain the lifestyle that you want, beautiful cars, beautiful houses, beautiful women, but you could use it to just take yourself to another level. Okay, that's how powerful this stuff is. So right now, it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons from me in 7 Months of Mastery. So take advantage of it. It's really easy to get signed up. All you need to do is click that link below. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. And like I said, it's the best way to support me in what I'm doing here. So if you want to support me, that's the best way to do it. Jump into 7 Months of Mastery. It's only $1. Click the link below. Take you over to my website and you can get signed up right now. It takes 2 seconds. So do that now and I will see you in my next coaching video. Signing out with the DeLorean. So many of you guys are like, hey, why are you always traveling? Shoot at home, shoot at home. So here I am shooting at home, but I'm about to travel in about a week, so I'll be gone for a month. So trying to shoot as many as at home as possible, so you guys stop asking me this question. Like, shoot more at home. I always traveling. That's what you do when you live the life. You travel, you live it like a rock star.